Welcome to Code Freedom. This is your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 226. And I'm excited because, I want to share something I think is really powerful, especially if you're a business owner or an entrepreneur. And by the way, being a business owner or entrepreneur, it's kind of a must. I mean, don't get me wrong. You could actually be an employee and you can invest well and you can still find yourself free. But in my opinion, it would be better if you were a business owner or an entrepreneur, even if you started out part-time. And here's why. Because if you earn $60,000 a year, how much are you earning for that company? Versus being in a position where you could actually earn it for yourself, right? Where you could actually earn the profits rather than the wages. Because, I mean, look, if you earn $60,000, I promise you, you're not producing $60,000 for that company. You're probably producing $100,000 to millions, anywhere up to that range. They have to earn enough from your productivity in order to keep you, if that makes sense. So what if we just did the work ourselves for ourselves, whether it's that industry or a whole nother industry, and we were able to earn the profits. But that's not even what we're talking about here today. What we're talking about here is the fact that yesterday was the Super Bowl. And what you may or may not know, I didn't know, is that Rihanna, who was the main attraction, she actually was not paid to perform in the Super Bowl. Now, this is someone who's a billionaire, one of the top recording artists, and she doesn't get paid a dime, right? And then I did some research and I found oh wait, nobody who performs at halftime, has earned from performing. And I'm like, well, why would they do it? And of course, the obvious answer, exposure, right? And so I learned something from Grant Cardone quite a while ago. He said, the reason why most people are failing in business is because of two reasons. Either not enough people know you, or they forgot that they know you. And what he meant by that was simply that if they don't know you, they can't buy from you, right? And then what if they know you, but then you don't adjust with the changes in time? So someone else has something flashier, better, more value. And so they forget about you because of the new thing that's in place, because you never adjusted. So two very important things that I think we should be mindful of is adjusting, but also making sure you get exposure. But here's what's interesting. So Rihanna is performing, and then she takes a pause and she pulls out a makeup kit from one of the dancers, and she checks herself in a little compact mirror. And I'm like, that was different. But then I thought about it, wait a minute, Fenty Beauty, right? So she's basically advertising her makeup line, right? And then of course her streams went through the roof, right? So the point is that because of the exposure, it causes lots and lots of stuff on the back end that would probably pay more than just paying her up front, right? Because of streams and downloads and the makeup products that she has. I did a little bit more research and I found that this was actually the case for just about everyone who performed for the Super Bowl. J-Lo and Shakira, that ended up costing about $13 million. I don't know if they ended up paying it or what, but I mean, look, J-Lo alone got 2.3 million more followers after the Super Bowl than she had. Now, that means that it's ongoing perpetuity, right? That means that anytime she launches something, anytime she's doing something, now she's got eyeballs who are looking at what she's doing so that they could actually purchase whatever she's selling at any point, right? So Lady Gaga, 1,000% bump in her streams after performing for the Super Bowl. Mary J. Blige, her sales went up, her album sales went up 999%. We may as well just go ahead and say 1,000% too, right? Simply because she performed in front of millions of people where she had a captivated audience and she had 15 minutes of fame, so to speak, but on the back end. And so why am I having this conversation with you? Because as entrepreneurs, as business owners who obviously were working our way to a place of freedom, we need exposure. We need to get out there. We need to be making sure that everyone knows who you are, right? That eyeballs are looking at you and everything that you do. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you have product that you can offer, lots of products, so that if they don't like this, maybe they get that. If they don't get that, they may get this. But that you have something that you can offer to a wide range of audiences. Now, don't get me wrong. You could have just a handful of products, but what if you had a suite of products so that at this point, now everyone can find a way to buy something from you? But the key is exposure. It's exposure. And I just think that's so powerful because, like, we're on our phones all day long. We're on social media all day long. Someone could be watching a TV show, and then when a commercial comes on, they're going to probably mute it and then go scrolling through their social media, right? It happens all the time. Maybe they won't mute it, but at least they'll be with their head down and they'll be on social media. So now this is your opportunity, because maybe you can't get an ad for the Super Bowl and pay millions of dollars. However, you can captivate their attention by a video or post, something. And by the way, just a couple tips on that is you always want to have some kind of a hook. What's going to grab their attention and stop them from going down in that long scroll hole? That's what you got to have, is something that's going to get their attention, and then something that's going to keep their attention. Those are some important things that you want to do when you're looking to not only get exposure, but just get yourself out there so that people can see what you're doing, know who you are, fall in love with you. People buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And I'll just say this. I always teach my organization this. If they don't know you, they may not trust you, but if they could at least like you, then now they'll know you, and then they'll trust you, and then they'll buy whatever from you. So just keep those in mind, especially for all my entrepreneurs and business owners who are working on their levels of their journey of freedom, is that massive, massive, massive exposure is going to take you a long way. So the next time somebody wants you to speak on their podcast, or go speak at an event, and maybe there's no cost, trust me, I'll give you a perfect example. I did a event just in December, and there was no cost for the event that I spoke at. But after that event, the very next month, I ended up having someone from that event who wanted to purchase a service from me, right? And so that's powerful, guys. It's about exposure, because if that, and by the way, that opened up new opportunities, right? Because now we can continue to build ongoing relationships, and then who knows where that can go. And so, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode 226 of the Code Freedom Podcast. And by the way, let me just throw this plug in there too. Make sure you check us out on YouTube if you and look at some of our other videos. We're uploading videos now of the podcast. Take care, take charge, and we'll see you over the top.